Hi, my name's Willow Arlenea, and I'm a psychic reader and an energetic healer. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how I prepare myself to do readings and healings, and then I'm going to show you a few things that I work with on clients. So to prepare myself, I work on opening the energy in my central channel. Before I got introduced to the Egyptian healing rods, I have been doing these Egyptian alchemical methods and Egyptian tantric methods of opening up the energy body. So I start with that. So I usually start with a little bit of breath of fire, and then I close the lower gate, the root chakra, the Kegel muscles, contract those muscles, and then I draw the energy up my spine. Now, many mystical traditions have this technique of drawing the energy up the spine. The Egyptians work with it in a double serpent format. So the energy starts at the base chakra, and the lunar or feminine energy is visualized as a black serpent beginning coming up the left side, and the solar or masculine energy is a gold serpent and it comes up the right side. And then as you draw the energy up, you cross it in each chakra. So you draw up a current of energy like this all the way to the crown chakra. So I'm just going to show myself doing that so you can see that. And I do that quite a bit, several times to get the energy moving up my chakra. And then I start holding the rods. I work with connectivity mostly at this point in time, but I have found that, of course, energy follows thought. And because the rods amplify energy, then it's very important to pay attention to where you're directing your thought when you use the rods. So by drawing up the energy up my central channel, I open that up, and then I can work with the rods and continue to draw the energy and clear my central channel and just draw the energy up. I point the rods to a certain point, and as the energy comes out the rods, it meets at a point, and I direct that point into my own energy field and then move the energy. But before I do all that, I ground, because I found that myself and most of the people I work with tend to be not fully in their lower body. I always start by directing the rods to the ground, and again, energy follows thought, so I send my energy down there too and spiral it down 2 or 3 feet into the below so that my energy is fully rooted into the earth. And then I'll begin drawing it up, and then I'll go up into the upper realms too. So I'll spend some time directing the energy into the center of my head, the pineal gland, open that up, and then I'll move the focus just a little bit more forward and direct the energy to my third eye and open that up. And then I'll direct the energy to the crown chakra and open that up. And then I might do the breath again and pull the energy all the way up and hook the energy into the crown chakra and then pull it way up into the upper realms and pull it out like this to create a funnel. And then I'll call in my spirit guides, who will then descend down into that funnel and into my energy field to work with me as I do my readings and healings. So I'll take maybe 20 or 30 minutes if I'm going to do a day of reading and healing to open up my field. And then I open up my arms and hands. So I would take one rod and start here in my heart chakra, and you can connect in with what the Egyptians call the Ka channels, or the subtle energy channels that are in the physical body, and just pull the energy down. And I open up each arm, And then I open up what's commonly called my laser fingernails. So after I've opened my arms, I, with my intentions, just kind of do a, like a switchblade, like, and open up my laser fingernails and open up the beams of light that come out of each fingernail. And if you could see energy, you could see that I've opened up the energy about 1.5 feet outside my hand. So now my energy body is ready to do the work. And so once again, I check in with my grounding. I always have to check in with my grounding because it's very easy for me to jump up out of my body and not be grounding. So I'm just going to take a minute here and again send my energy down and open up my grounding and just check my central channel again. Make sure it's all open. And then when I'm about to do a reading and healing, I call in my guides, and I also call in the guides of my client. So in order to do that, I'll have you say your full name 3 times. So if you could do that, say your full name 3 times.
Brett, the whole legal name?
Yeah, the whole name.
Oh, Brett Elizabeth Epic Beal. Brett Elizabeth Epic Beal. Brett Elizabeth Epic Beal.
And so the name carries the vibrational frequency of the person. So I'll go inside a moment and just imagine this ray of light going up and a ray of light from the client going up, and we meet up here somewhere, and I connect with her guides, and I just do a little prayer saying that whatever happens in this reading or healing is for the highest good. And then sometimes when I'm doing a reading or healing, I'll get information, I'll read information, but I'll also get this message. The client doesn't want to hear that information. Sometimes I get clients that are fairly defended and they're not ready for the whole enchilada. So I'll ask the guides, what about that can I say, or how can I say that in a way they can hear? So I'll just work with my guides, and they'll temper the information for the benefit of the client. So then when, my energy field is all open, I'll scan and read the chakras. So I'm just going to do a little scanning here and find one that wants to be worked with. And as Margie said earlier, we've been doing energy work all day, so we're all pretty tuned, but I actually feel a little bit of congested energy here, so I want to ask if it's okay if I work in this area here.
Mm-hmm. Where are you?
I'm right here. Yeah. So I'm just reading it, and the tips of my fingers are very sensitive to subtle energy, so I just kind of caress the rim of her chakra with the tips of my fingers, and I can read any material that's held there. And then sometimes I might choose to open the chakra using the rod. So again, the lunar rod in the left hand, the solar rod in the right hand. And I direct that beam of energy into the chakras. And then I use them sort of like chopsticks. And I just go right into the center of the chakra. And then I just kind of pull the chakra open a little bit. And then I do that in 8 directions, basically. I just pull the chakra open a little bit. Now, you're not going to be forcing anything. The chakra has to be willing to open. But these rods are sending this high beam of light into it. So they're just kind of melting it open as well as pulling it open. And then if I want to pull out any congested material that's in there, I can use the rods again like chopsticks and go in there and hook the energy that needs to be lifted and just lift it out like this. And then, of course, it's always the question of like, well, where does the energy go once you lift it out? So what I do is I just call in the violet flame, and I just imagine, sense, and feel the energy being burned by the violet flame and just being transmuted back to source. So I can pull energy out with the rods, or I can also pull energy out with my hands. Once again, I'll like activate my laser fingernails, and I can go in there and literally rake the congested energy with my laser fingernails, and then just pull it out, and again lift it up to be burned in the violet flame. And then after energy has been pulled out of an area, there's a void there, and so you need to put some higher frequency energy back in. So I work in this Egyptian shamanic healing method, which is I hold my hand open and I just call in an energy from nature, or it could be a spirit being, and usually it just appears in my mind's eye what energy is the right healing tone. And so with her, in her chakra right here, I'm getting green. Actually, I'm getting this green plant energy would be good. So I just hold open my hand, and I'm seeing in my mind's eye some kind of tropical plant that I don't know the name of, but I don't need to know the name of. So I just call that energy in and let it collect into my hand, and then I pour it into the chakra, which sets in a healing tone, a healing frequency, to replace the negative frequency that we just pulled out. And so you can proceed and work on any of the chakras in that way. And then when we're all done, we need to seal her up. And I can just do this with my hands here, or I might even try doing it with the rods. Let's try this. I've never done this before. This kind of zipper method, which kind of makes sense. I'm just going to use my hand here, and I can really feel that it actually really is closing up the opening of her energy body that I created. So that's a really beautiful thing. And then when I'm done with the healing, I always give thanks to the spirit beings that assisted. In this case in particular, this green plant being that came in. I give thanks, and I give thanks to my guides, and thanks to her guides. And then we just separate our energy field, and we're done. Thank you.